My name is Brittany Forchbeck. I am the account manager from Meeting Play that has been helping put this virtual platform together for the event. For this training, if you do not want to share your video in the Zoom meeting, you do not need to. Mostly I'll be sharing my screen for the majority of this and walking you guys through some of the things that you're going to see and be able to do in the platform. And then we will have some time for question and answers at the end. I do ask whether you want to stay on video or not. If you could please mute your audio in Zoom until the question and answer part. We are recording, and this recording will be sent to the Informs team who's been putting together the meeting to send out afterwards. If you are a facilitator for one of the Birds of a Feather session, please stay on through the end of the training. We will be covering the functionality of those rooms at the end, and anybody who is a presenter or a moderator on the regular session but is not a facilitator for the Birds of a Feather can drop off at that point. Okay. Does Cheryl or anybody from the Informs team have anything that they want to add before we get started with the platform specific stuff?
The floor is yours.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen then. Give me 1 second. Okay, so what you're going to see here is it's a separate URL that I've provided to the Informs team that they'll be able to send out to you. This is outside of the event platform, but it is a way that you can test your personal device to check through your functionality. You can click the green start button up in the top here, and it will automatically move through all the portions of the test. So you can see I'm not doing anything. Right now I'm talking, so it can hear me. I can hear that music, so I'm going to say yes. And then for the resolution, it will run through this as well. This is based off of your webcam. Right now, it actually cannot test that for me because I am using my webcam in Zoom. So that is going to be something that's important to note when we're in the platform itself. When you're going on stream in the platform, you cannot be using that web camera and microphone in another platform because your device will not know where to pull to. So please do not have any Zoom or Teams meetings running on the side when you're using the platform and need to use your webcam and microphone in there. Okay, so this is the login page for the platform. And I did try to clear out all my settings today so that I can walk you guys through exactly what will happen for you. So it's very important that for the email address, this will be the email address that was used for your Salesforce registration. That's what's tied to your profile. You'll see there's this little information button here. If this is your first time logging in, a one-time PIN code should have been sent to your registration email. Please check your spam folder. If you cannot find this code or think that it may have been deleted by mistake, you can follow the forgot password link below and reset your password and login. So here's your forgot password. That one-time temporary registration password that's being sent to you is your Salesforce attendee ID, which the Informs team will be sending you all of that information later. So you enter your password, agree to the privacy policy, which you can read through here, and to the terms, which you can link to, and click login. And you'll be taken to an update password page. This is where you're going to select your own unique secure password. And just for everybody's knowledge on this call, nobody on the Meeting Play side is going to be able to see your password, either that temporary one or the one that you set it to. So if at any time you need to reset your password, we recommend using the links within the platform or using one of the help desk options available to contact us, and we can go in and send you a reset email. But because this is secure, we do not see those. So to reset your password, you're going to re-enter the temporary one up in your current password field. Here's the list of requirements, and you'll see right now they're all red X's. As you fill in, you'll see there's a changing to green check marks, and the whole box turns green once you've made all of those requirements in the password. You'll also see when you click down here and start typing again, it tells you that your passwords do not match until they do, and then they both go away, and you know that you've entered the same password in both, and you can update that password. You'll then be taken into the onboarding. So you'll see here, I already had a picture filled in, but you can choose your profile picture. You can also sync your profile photo with LinkedIn. This doesn't take you out of the platform. You just need to plug in your LinkedIn login information and it will pull your LinkedIn profile picture in here. The majority of people will probably want to add a headshot since you guys are presenters, and you will see this in multiple places if you don't already have one that's been added for you. Most of these fields will have also been pulled over through Salesforce, but you can also update anything that you would need to. You can set your time zone. If you have a bio, it will have already populated here. If you want to add a bio, you can. And then if you would like to add your LinkedIn URL so that other attendees can find you and connect with you there, you can add that there as well. And then you'll see that there is a nice note at the bottom letting you know that it could take up to 15 minutes for those to be reflected. The next step of onboarding is choosing your settings. I would recommend that for all presenters and moderators that you do make yourself public. That's going to allow people to find you and for you to display in certain areas throughout the platform. You have some other options here. Again, this is a bit of personal preference.
Me neither. There are several things happening.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Manju asked, he was asking for a different kind of job, more related to what he was doing lately. But either one or we failed to explain to him what was the real job, the day-to-day job.
I don't know if maybe you want, yep, there we go.
Okay, so for these notifications and messages and allowing users to video chat and send you group messages, this is going to be based on your preference as a presenter or a moderator. Sometimes you do want to have those marked as available so that other attendees can find you and follow up with you. Sometimes you may not want that if you want to have a different avenue that you want people to contact you following the event. The important one down here is providing information to sponsors, and you'll see that by checking this box, you're giving permission to share your data with sponsors that you visit or interact with. So there are going to be a few sponsors that you'll see throughout. For example, the navigation bar sponsor you can see up here. So if you check that box, you will then be added into any reports that are provided by those sponsors.
Sorry, just one question. When you said that the profile is public, but then at the right-hand side, that was the email is not public. So basically, these are not redundant. So if the profile is public, but you say off for the email, then the email is not public, but everything else is public.
Correct. So your profile being public is going to be within the platform, and I can show you. There's a few places where that will be important. So that's going to be in searching as an attendee profile. Your speaker profile will remain public, but for people to be able to search you from your attendee profile and to send you messages from there, as well as for the gamification page to show up on that leaderboard, you would need to be public.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question here?
Sure.
How long does this setting last? Is this just for the day of the meeting or for the rest of my life?
So it will last either until you change it, which I'll show you where you can go in and change any of your profile information at that time, or it will last until the site is taken down, and the site will remain up for 30 days from launch tomorrow.
Okay. So at the end of the session, we could turn it off.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I have a question that's more for the Inform staff. When are these registration codes going out so we can log in?
This is Paulette. They are definitely going out this afternoon, probably between right after this call.
Yeah, we're working on getting that email sent out like now. So you should probably receive in the next like 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay.
So we already had a password, right? An ID and password to the system. Is something different?
So to get into this platform, you're going to log in with the email address from Salesforce, and the attendee ID in Salesforce is going to be used as your temporary password until you do that password reset process to set your own personal secure password.
Okay, so this is a different part of the system. Okay.
So this third part of onboarding, which will be important for you all since you will have the ability to go on, is doing another camera mic check within the platform. So you'll see that because I'm on Zoom, it's saying that permissions denied. So again, when you're on something else, it won't be able to stream into the platform. You can also check your bandwidth down here, and for anybody who does work on a device that has a VPN, we do recommend that you get off of a VPN because we see most of our issues occur when somebody is using a device with a VPN setup. So for now, I'm going to pretend that my audio and video do look good, even though I can't see them. Move on to the next step, which is going to be a networking algorithm. So you can go through and select some answers to these questions. Complete your profile and enter the event. So you'll see
the last one was cooking and banking.
Yeah, so there's some different options in there. Those were not necessarily my true answers. I just wanted to make sure that we could move through those and so we could populate some things for you. So you'll see it gives me some like-minded individuals. This will continue to build as other people answer their networking questions, and then some recommended event sessions that you can scroll through. If you feel like you've been matched up with the wrong like-minded individuals or sessions, for example, like I said, this weren't necessarily my right answers, you can go to rebuild network and redo that algorithm at any time. The first time you're on this page, since we did just complete onboarding, you can click dashboard and that will take you right into the event. Now, for anything that we just did to our profile, you can go up to the right-hand corner here and see this person icon. You can edit your profile and settings at any time. So this is where now everything's on one page, and I can change any of those settings, or I can update any of my profile information. So a few quick navigation things, which you guys will have some time to play around in the platform before the rest of the attendees get in here. If you need to log out, you can use this top button, but you are not required to log out at any time. You'll see this chat button up here. So if you do end up getting messages from other attendees, you'll see some direct messages sent to you here, group chats if you've been included in any group chats, and it will notify you if you have any of those in there available. You can also search. So I always use the as my standard search term. And you'll see any speakers who have the anywhere in their profile, any sessions that have the, and we won't have any attendees right now, but some downloads, general information items. The tends to return a lot of search results, which is why I use it for my demonstration, but anything that you're looking for specifically, you can use that search. Here back in the main lobby, this video will be updated by the Informs team throughout the event, so you want to check for when that's updated. And then there's lots of places within here that you can click on to go to different things. So you'll see we have another sponsor here, this sponsor. These are sort of your quick links in this kiosk. Up at the top, you're going to see more options available in the submenus for each of these categories. And then right here is your Informs help desk. So this is going to be very important. You have your Informs help desk here, as well as if you go up to help, you'll see the Informs help desk. This will get you to a Zoom meeting with the Informs team. This tech support one will bring up the meeting play support bot. And this will be available during the office hours for the first half as well. So this will be connecting to meeting play if you have platform related issues that you need support with. If you have anything that's more overall event or Informs based, you can connect with their team using the Informs help desk options. Now for the specifics of being presenters and moderators, you can go into the agenda You will not have a buffer on sessions that you are associated to. All sessions will have a 30-minute buffer in place for general attendees. But if you are the presenter or moderator for that session, you can click into its page at any time. So this is an example one. Some sessions will have, oops, sorry, I clicked a little too fast. Some sessions will have that this pop up here. And this is my little preview. You will then get an audio playback pop up. And this will go to all attendees that click into the session, saying the presenters can become available on webcam to answer questions and making sure that they're allowing audio playback in their browser. You guys will not see this video check. That is for the staff, but this screen right here is where the video for your session will be. Once that 30-minute buffer lifts and attendees are able to click into this page, this screen will have a countdown for them. Once it reaches the end of that countdown at the scheduled start time for that session, your session video will start playing. And so the example that I use for the way this is set up, it is a simulated live. So you guys know that you've submitted your recordings in advance, so it's not a true live stream, but it's sort of like going to the movie theater. Once that scheduled start time starts, it's going to start playing directly through. There's no pause, rewind, fast forward available. It plays through as if streaming completely like a live stream. So during the actual playing of the video, you will have the option to come over here. You'll see people filling things in the live chat. Please feel free to engage with attendees. They may be leaving comments in here. You'll see if you hover over at the right of a comment, you can like somebody's comment, you can direct message them, or you can reply in line to their comment.
Sorry, what is the difference between live chat and Q&A?
So the live chat's mainly where you're going to see attendees engaging with each other. The Q&A is where attendees are going to ask a question. So they may say something like, how will this impact us this year based on your topic? So it's going to be very topical to the content that you're sharing, and it's going to be directed to you as the presenter. So they can ask their question. Attendees will be able to see this where they can vote on that question. Questions that get more votes will be pulled to the top. So you'll see that as more questions fill in down here, the ones that are voted, they will be pulled to the top based on their number of votes. So the live chat's really just sort of a social wall feature. The Q&A is where they're going to be asking the questions to you. So they'll be asking questions throughout the session video playing. If you're a presenter or a moderator, you will see these two buttons that say hide question and add response. If somebody asks a question that you feel is irrelevant or inappropriate or distracts from the session, you can hide that question. You'll get a pop-up here, a big red button saying yes, hide it, or cancel. When you remove this question, you will not have the ability to pull it back in from the page that you're in. You would need to contact the Meeting Play tech support and ask us to pull that question back. So if that were to happen, I can show you that you have a tech support button right up in the top of your session that will pull up that support bot for you if you hide a question and need to bring it back. You can add a text response in as well. But for the majority of you guys, we're going to be doing the live Q&A at the end of the session. So it is important to know that some sessions have a presenter and a moderator, and some sessions only have a presenter. So if you are a session with a presenter and a moderator, the moderator will be reading the questions that have pulled over here, and then the presenter will be answering them live. If you are a presenter that does not have a moderator in your session, you'll want to come over here and read through the questions that have been submitted in this tab and share them live. So to show you how to access that ability to go live, you will see this View Admin Tools button. Attendees will not see this button. This is just for you. So when you pull that up, there's lots of options in here. We can kind of walk through the ones that you'll want to use during the session and then end with going live for that Q&A. So right now, there's 2 active users in this session, and you'll see that 16 total users have visited the session. So when I click View List, there's 2 active users. I see 1 public active user, and I can see who that is. I can't call or message because it is myself. If there were, several active users in here, you could search for them. But why is this number, which it's now back down to 1, so somebody did jump out. But when we had 2 active users and 1 public user, why would that number be different than above? Again, some users may have marked their profiles as private and therefore they would not show in this list. But that is helpful for you just to know that there may be other people in the session.
Two questions. So one is that the questions are recorded along with the votes, and can I have a hand on them?
Yes, we'll have reporting for all of the Q&A, as well as all of the live chats, as well as the ratings for the session. So everything that happens, we do have reports that will go to the Informs team that has planned the meeting, and they will have that all available to pass out to everybody specific to their sessions.
Obviously, it will be a bit, I'm not saying messy, but the users, the participants should know what is the difference with live chat and QA, and especially the voting thing. Do they have some kind of help, not help, but kind of instruction that if you want to vote for something, then you go to the QA, this type of thing?
Sure. So the attendees will have some time before the event goes live that they'll be able to get into the platform and click around and learn how to use the platform. There is also the frequently asked questions where it will go through how to participate in the live chat, how to participate in the Q&A, and to use those features within the session.
Thank you.
Sure.
And also we
yes.
submitted poll questions, right? And they are going to be already integrated with the session?
Yes, so that's actually what I was going to move to next. So you'll see the next tab in this admin tools is polls. So if you have a poll that you have had pre-built into your session, which not all of the sessions do, but if you submitted a poll, and I apologize to Kathy Ritter because I did borrow yours for this demo, but if you submitted a poll while the session is playing that video simulated live, at the point that you would want the poll, you can slide that poll in to all viewers. So you'll see that that poll is right here. They do have the option to click this polls tab and take the poll at any time, but you can slide it in and slide it out when you want to during the actual live session. So if they were on another tab and you said, oh, this is the time in the recording that matches up to the poll, you can slide that in. Then you do also have the ability to display the results for each question. We recommend that you wait to display any results until the end before you get into the Q&A, because as you will see, when I click display results, it will push things further and further down the screen. So now there's a bar chart, and that video, which would still be going live if the session was still happening, gets pushed down for all attendees. So we do recommend that you would wait to push those results and talk through them before you get to the Q&A.
Okay, but Brittany,
yes.
That you can put in the poll. Let's see, there's 3 questions in my poll. Do all the polls go at the same time, all the questions at the same time, or can you select which ones to show one at a time?
So all of the polls that have been submitted in advance, they are built as one poll. So when you slide that poll in, you'll see that it's one poll here. And so it would then walk through each question versus pushing each question one at a time. But then for displaying the poll results, you can display the results one question at a time.
Brittany?
Yes.
This is actually a really important conversation because I hadn't thought about this when we submitted the poll. It sounds very strategic because we are in control of this, right? As the presenter.
Yes.
So we have to decide when do we start the poll and when to stop the poll as well.
So this would just be pushing it in. This is optional. The polls will be available. So you'll see, from an attendee point of view, they could be over here in the live chat. This polls tab would be available to them that they can take that poll at any time. So if you want to push the poll at a certain time in your recording because you feel that that lines up, you have the ability to do that, but they are able to take the poll at any time. So if you don't push it, they can still take it, participate in that, earn points.
Because it's also again, like the other person said, it's all 3 questions at the same time. And I also have to think strategically when I push this poll in, the person is distracted from watching my video. Like they're watching my video and then I say, oh, look, there's a poll. And then for that fraction of time that they go to do the poll, they're not watching the video. There's no pause in my video where it says, hey, go do the poll. So I'm thinking about what I should really do.
Yeah, so in a situation like that where there's not necessarily a time in your video that it feels like this is the time that makes sense to have a poll, that tab is available. And you can maybe mention in the live chat, you know, please take the poll. There is also this tab here that you have in your admin tools for notifications. This creates a notification just within your session. So you would have to set it up for the time if you are not in the Eastern time zone. You do need to use Eastern time since that is what the agenda is. And you can put a little message in here, you know, please take the poll before you click out. But something that I think might put some of your all's fears to ease is that there are game points tied to completing the polls, and there's prizing for people who end up with the most points at the end of the event. So all attendees are going to want to take every single poll that they see available to them. So I would not worry about attendees not giving you feedback in those polls. They want to take them.
All right. I have to think about that, take a little planning to figure out exactly what I want to do. Thank you.
Yeah, and like I said, there's a 30-minute buffer on the session. So there is an opportunity for attendees 30 minutes before the scheduled start time to click in here to start engaging with each other in that live chat, to take the polls. They also have a session rating that they can do over here. So they can take notes over here that they can email to themselves. So there's a good chance that they're going to be coming in before that session video starts playing and start using those engagement features within each session.
Thank you.
Okay, now the big thing that I know everybody is here for is this.
There's a bigger problem. So the Informs email went out about with the numbers, and I went and logged in. It prompted me to change my password. I typed that old password, and it says current password does not match. So something's broken.
Hey, this is Diana. I had the same thing happen. You don't use the little asterisks at the beginning and at the end. Just grab what's inside of it.
I did, and now I can't change it. There was no asterisks. It was just a 6-digit number.
Okay.
Irv, I will follow up with you at the end. Okay.
Hey, just to follow on to Irv's comment there, the passcode worked for me, but when I entered in new passwords, it said it matched, and then when I hit enter, it didn't accept it. It said they did not match. I don't know if it's related or not. Thank you.
Well, it says your current password does not match.
Did you cut and paste the password?
Yep. Yes.
Can't do that. You have to type it in.
Well, even if I type it in, it's not working.
Okay, because that happened to me the first time, and I had set up a super secret one that I copy and pasted, and it was the same, but it didn't let me continue.
Yeah, I mean, I'm typing it in.
Yeah, Irv, I will go in on the back end following this training and assist you with getting that reset.
So apologies here for interruption. So question, I have not received an email about with password and to set up my profile. Either Kirk or I'm checking with him.
It just arrived, like we're talking 5 minutes ago. So they're probably still going out.
Yeah, we're sending them through HubSpot, so it takes a little bit to process.
Well, also, it's probably going to appear in your spam mailbox, or updates or something like that.
Yeah, it went right to my inbox on Gmail. So, but we have the password problem. I'm going to kill my cookies. Anyhow, go ahead. Apologies for interrupting your stream there.
So for the Q&A, I recommend that in your admin tools, you come to this presenter availability tab. You'll see yourself listed here, and you're going to want to mark yourself as available. The attendees will see.
Brittany, sorry. Kathy was asking to remind them how you got to the screen. I don't know if you're reading the chat. So how did you get to the screen? Sorry.
From the agenda, you're going to want to click into your session. And then use this View Admin Tools button. And that's going to pull up this toolbar for you. And then you want to use the Presenter Availability tab, mark yourself as available. Attendees will see the green box that says that you are currently available, and you'll see that you're marked as available in here. And then this box up here, which says Stream Audio and Video Live, will become available to you. You will click that. Right now, it will not work for me because I am in Zoom. So you'll see that my audio and video settings popped up. Normally, you would see yourself here with your video, and then this would pop up below you. So you could mute yourself if needed, change your video if needed, and then stop streaming yourself. So because I'm on Zoom, I'm not going to pop up in that box right now, but this is where you will pop up. This will push down. And then if you have a moderator, you're both able to go live and both add yourselves in here. And this is where you will be showing, and you'll be able to answer those live questions. So you'll see we have, this one has 2 votes, so it's up at the top. This one has 0 votes, so it's down below. Again, if you have a moderator, they'll be reading these to you up in this streaming area so that the attendees can hear the questions, and then you can respond to them as a presenter. And then if you do not have a moderator session, you can be streamed up here and read through these and answer them directly.
If I disconnect from the session, does this mean that my availability turns to not available automatically, or before I close, I have to turn it off, the availability?
As a best practice, I would recommend marking yourself as unavailable because once the session has ended, these semi-live sessions, so you'll see right now, once the video is ended, this kind of screen will come up saying that it's ended and that it's being processed to be available for replay. So attendees could return to the session page and watch that video as a click to play replay, you know, take notes or pull anything that they need from the session, so they can come back in here and they would still see that you're marked as available. So we do recommend as a best practice that when you're leaving the session, please mark yourself as unavailable.
And Brittany, perhaps you have discussed this already, but the moderator is the same person as the facilitator, is that right? I think that in the emails to us,
yes.
The forms used facilitator, is that right?
Correct, yes.
And both the speakers and the facilitators can turn on and or can start the video, is that right?
Yes. So both the presenters and the facilitators can mark themselves as available and then add themselves to the stream.
Right, but on the right-hand side at the top, when the session is to start or the presentation is to start, do we have to click on that, or?
Nope. So this is set up so that 30 minutes before there's a countdown clock, and then at the scheduled start time, it will start playing. You will not have to click to make it play. And it's not going to be something that you can pause, rewind, or fast forward. It's going to play straight through.
Okay, and so you mentioned that the facilitator will read the questions to the presenter. Most likely that happens after the presentation ends, right? Or
yes, I do recommend, because you can mark yourself as available. There's nothing that's going to stop you from marking yourself as available and going live. We do recommend waiting until your video has played completely through. You see that this screen has come up. At that point, if you wanted to go through any of the poll results, you could, and then doing the Q&A.
Okay.
Yeah, Brittany, just to confirm what the previous speaker mentioned, the password that we just got sent out doesn't actually work.
If you add 3 zeros to the beginning of it, it should work. Customer service is working on sending out a corrected one. Apparently Excel cut off all the zeros prior to sending. Our apologies.
Thank you, Mary.
Just a quick question. For the dashboard, can I go to the activity, please?
From the dashboard?
Yeah, so I'm not sure. Not in the dashboard. So if I want to display my email address on my profile page, so what does red mean? Does it mean that it is already viewable to all persons? So
Yes, so if the box is red and says on, that means that you have opted into that option. If the box is white and says off, that means you are opted out. And you can click to change those at any time. And then you do need to click the update profile for those to take effect.
Okay, thank you.
So is there any way for us to see the video of our presentation today? Showing in the right place?
So right now, we do not have that set up. I can talk to the Informs team if that's something that we're going to have set up for all of you all. If we do that, it will look similar to what you saw from me in this session, where you'll have the actual box up here. It will say in your session, you won't have this box. This is based on the time that I have it scheduled for. You'll see a little yellow box here that says, this session is not live, please come back. And then scrolling down, there's this video quality check where you can see what video would be playing streamed there. We do not have that currently set up for you all, but with the Informs team, we can discuss if that's something that we're gonna have set up for all of those sessions. And then we do have the Birds of a Feather session that we have some people who are facilitators on that are gonna have some different functionality. So we would like to give them a little bit of time for that as well. And then we do have the office hours that will be available later this afternoon. I will be available on Zoom during that for your questions, and then using this tech support to get the Meeting Place support bot that will be available for the first half of those office hours for any questions that you guys have as you're testing out getting into the platform for the first time. So if you are a facilitator for the Birds of a Feather session, please do stay on. If you are a presenter or a moderator that is not facilitating a Birds of a Feather session, you can drop now. And then I know that Mary said the team is working on getting you those correct passwords so that you can log in and rejoin us for the office hours. We'll be doing a lot of Q&A during that time as well. So for the Birds of a Feather,
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Can I ask a quick question? So you said if you're a facilitator or a moderator, stay on?
If you are a facilitator or a moderator for a Birds of a Feather session.
Oh, okay. Otherwise, sign off?
Yep, otherwise you are welcome to drop
Thank
off
you.
at this point and then rejoin us for the office hours.
All right, bye.
So for those of you that are doing the Birds of a Feather session, they are a different session type. They are a collaborative session. So this is what your room will look like. It's a little bit different. When you come in here, you do still have those admin tools where you can see. This is going to be very helpful in this sort of environment because the attendees do have to choose to share their video with you. So you'll see right now, I can see that I'm the only person in here, but I believe Jasmine from Meeting Play is on with us as well. So if she were to join this room, I can now see that she's in here, even though none of us are showing right now. I click View Room. Oops, I got a little overzealous in my clicking. And now I can see that Jasmine is in the room. If she wasn't showing her video though, so like Jennifer is not currently showing her video, but I can see that she is in this room. And so I would want to come over here to this live chat and engage her and get her participating. None of these sessions are going to have polls, but that tab does remain. So in a situation where you see that there's maybe, you know, multiple users here, but they're not all sharing their video yet, you could use the live chat, or you could also use that notifications option to send a notification that stays in the room up at the top here saying, please connect with video and microphone. So if you connect with video and microphone, you'd be added to this
Quick question. Is the expectation that people are going to be typing or talking? Maybe you're just getting to that.
Yeah, so it's going to mainly want to be a talking sort of room, but they're obviously going to have that ability to post to the chat as well. And we'll actually be removing the Q&A, I believe. I don't think, Paulette, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, do we want to have the Q&A available in the Birds of a Feather or just the live chat?
Cheryl might want to respond to that. I am not sure what Cheryl had in mind for that one. Sorry.
Okay, so for the live chat, again, that's going to be a place where people can interact with each other as attendees. For the Q&A, if we do keep it, they can submit questions here, but only you as the facilitator of the room would be able to add that response. Now, I'm going to, yes.
Yeah, I would rather encourage people to be on video versus Q&A. So I think it's a good idea not to have it.
Sure. So we'll remove the Q&A and then they can just add to the live chat. And then they're going to be able to talk to each other in here. So I did just take myself off of video with Zoom. So let's see if I can connect. Yeah, so now you can see me. Now, if you are the facilitator, I do have myself muted in here so we don't have a feedback loop. If you are the facilitator for the session, you will see take over as speaker up at the top here. You can click on that. You will be the only person that can pull yourself up here to what we call the hot seat. So this is where we recommend you taking over as. You do not have to be up there, but we do recommend that you pull yourself up to take over as speaker and really lead these conversations. You can also share your screen. So if you have something that you want to share, that pulls up into this area. And so that'll be pulled up here, and then the room would be available down here. So right now, Jasmine and Irv, they would have been able to see each other. So that's not just something that's for speakers, that's the full attendee view is what you're seeing right now. So everything on this page, the attendees can see except for the view admin tools and the ability to come up here as a speaker. So Jasmine, if you want to unmute yourself in the room and speak, that way everybody knows that you can have a conversation directly in the room.
Hi, everybody.
And so you'll see there's going to be this little settings button over here for you guys as facilitators. All of the attendees are going to have this video settings bar. My permissions are denied because of me speaking in Zoom, but they're going to be able to see similar to what we saw in the other room where it has a microphone and that video in here, and they can mute themselves or unmute themselves. As a facilitator, you're also going to have this button where you can unmute all users so that they can talk to each other, and then mute all users. And so you'll see when Jasmine's unmuted, if she speaks, and right now she's not speaking, but I'm sure it's a little bit of a feedback loop from me talking and her speakers. Her video is bordered in that nice red so that you know who is speaking.
Yeah, sorry for the feedback, guys.
So you do have that ability to mute and unmute everybody, and then they have the ability using the video settings at the end of their tab to unmute and mute themselves. They do need to click on that button to connect the video and microphone to be pulled into that room though. So just to kind of walk you through that again. There's that button there, and then the taking over as speaker button that you're going to want to use. And your roles in these rooms are really going to be to drive that networking, get the conversation going, encourage the attendees to unmute themselves and to start discussing the topics for those rooms.
Yes, and I just wanted to add that as a facilitator, it would be great if you could encourage people to attend these sessions. So, you know, using the chat messaging within the platform, or, reaching out personally with an email and asking people to add it to their schedule and to participate would be great. The rooms are limited to 40 people, and that includes the facilitators. But this is the one thing that we hear all the time is, people miss the networking. So this is a chance to really reach out to people and try to continue maybe some of the conversations that were happening during the Q&A.
And another opportunity to promote these would be under social. The chat rooms have been divided up into topic areas too. So if there's a birds of a feather that accompanies a chat room. Brittany, do you mind clicking on that real quick?
I actually did want to show you guys. So under the social item in the navigation bar, there's these chat rooms. So these are going to be sort of discussion boards. So if one of these topics matches up with the Birds of a Feather collaborative session that you're going to be facilitating, you can go in there and you can add a chat comment in here, and then anybody at any time can go into the room and see your chat, encouraging them to come to that session. Another option under this social tab is the social feed. So this is going to be sort of like your social media feed. And I did clear this out before we did our training, but you can add a post in here and you can do it as just a comment. You could add a photo to it. That would be another great place for you to sort of just drop something that all attendees in the event can see, encouraging them to join you in those Birds of a Feather sessions. And if an attendee follows a session, so you'll see both of these sessions over here have little red filled in hearts. They're going to be pulled to this My Followed session for attendees. They're also going to be added to the My Agenda. So the plenaries are going to be added in here, and then anything that they follow will be added in here for them. So at any time, as soon as attendees have access, go ahead and start engaging with them, encouraging them to go in there and find the Birds of a Feather sessions that they want to participate in and follow them.
Brittany, can you go one more time to agenda to where the sessions are?
Sure. So under agenda.
Okay.
And this is just what we had set up for testing today. Here are the 3 actual event days. And so you'll see we've got Birds of a Feather on all 3 days. This first day, it's a little bit later in the day. So they're down here. And when searching, so you'll see these nice little colorful tags here. Attendees can filter by tag, so they can find them that way. And then some of these also have the tracks, so they can also filter by those tracks. And so Birds of a Feather is its own track. So if they were just looking for those, they could filter by that, and it would pull for each day just what the Birds of a Feather sessions available to them are.
Okay, and then if you click on the hearts on the left-hand side, that will add them to your own agenda. Is that right?
Yep, so it says that that session follow has been successfully made. It usually takes about a minute or so for it to be added over here to the followed sessions into the My Agenda. And then the attendees do also have the My Followed Items page. So this is going to be anything that they follow throughout the site. So if they follow other attendees that they want to follow up with later, if they follow any of you guys as speakers, and then the sessions that they follow, as well as posts and downloads. So this is going to be anything that they're following for their own reference to follow up on later. So that's another place that those followed sessions will end up pulling to.
Brittany, I have 2 questions since I've been mucking around with this. One is, when you create your agenda, is there ability to export the agenda to your personal calendar?
So not for the full agenda, but when you go into a session, you can add it. Sorry, there's so much that pops up. There is an add to calendar button for the sessions.
So I have to do it session by session by session?
Yes.
Okay, that's painful.
And then there is a 15-minute reminder pre-programmed in with that add to calendar feature.
Right, but there's not an ability, like you create an agenda and I want to say, just plop all of these in one shot into my calendar.
No, that is not something that we have available at this point.
All right, and my second question was, when I joined, even though I'm here on Zoom, I have like speakers and headsets and multiple speakers. And every time I use Zoom, WebEx, whatever these platforms, I have to choose my device, which I did. And then when you started speaking in that Birds of a Feather room, you started coming through on my external speakers. And I'm trying to figure out, is there a way to change the settings for which video camera and which microphone and which speakers are used once you've already set it?
The video and the microphone. For the speakers, I will have to talk to our tech support team because that's not something that I know we have the toggle for in that standard settings, but I'm sure there is a way to do it. I will have to follow up with our tech support team on that one.
Okay.
And they're actually going to be joining shortly for the office hours.
Right, and I know I can't make that hour, but if they're available, like once the platform is, well, it's now live, they'll be available at other times as well for those kind of questions.
Yes, so there are, for each of the 3 event days, the Meeting Play tech support team has been scheduled. And then the Informs help desk has additional scheduled time from launch through the event.
Okay.
Brittany, in relation to Irv's question, when you opened up the app, the first thing you did was check your system.
So that is a separate link, and I did email that, Cheryl, to you and Paulette this morning. We can send that to all of the presenters for them to use if they need to do a full system test.
Okay, yes. But that wouldn't help Irv with his.
I don't think that includes audio output either.
Okay.
I know that the settings that we typically have available with the platform to choose is the microphone and the camera. For that audio output for the speakers, I am not sure how you would make that selection. I think that's going to probably differ a bit device to device, but I know our tech support team has probably received that question and has an answer for that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I do see in the chat from Tori about the ability to do a confidential Q&A. So for the sessions, the settings are all public. If somebody did have something that they wanted to direct to you confidentially, their best way to do that would be to send you a direct message.
Okay, so they just sent a direct message through the chat. Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
there's nothing in the session. The session's set up to all be public.
Right, but they can still send a direct chat message.
Yeah, and so they would be able to do that.
Yeah, they
and this
can
is
select.
one of
Yeah,
the
I'll
things
just
that we
instruct them on
encourage
how to do that.
being public for. So for speakers, you have your speaker profiles here, and you'll see you can click into them. And this is just really an information sort of page, but then we encourage you to set yourself as being public as well so that they can find you during this attendee search. I don't know if I can search myself. I can't. Jasmine might be on here. So then this is going to be the attendee profile, and from there they can call and message you.
But they could also use
in that session chat, that ability shows up as well. So if somebody were to, for example, put in this live chat, you know, Tori, can I talk to you one-on-one? You can use this little envelope button, and they can message you right there.
Okay. Okay, we'll see if it comes up. I don't know if it will. It kind of depends on, sometimes the DEI discussions can be complex.
And that's a birds of a feather, right, Tori?
Yes, that's a birds of a feather, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that would be the same sort of thing where that live chat is going to be public in birds of a feather. But again, they would have that little
ability
envelope that
message.
they can find you from.
Okay, I just need to let them know that.
Yep.
Okay.
And then I did see in that test session we were just in that there was a comment in the live chat about testing out to do points. So while you guys are in today, please feel free to play around and test things, but do know that we are going to be clearing out all game points, all comments, all questions, all the sort of test stuff from the platform before we launch live to all attendees. So
Well,
don't be alarmed if you do something today and then you don't have points once all the attendees get in there.
Yeah, but Brittany, you're not going to clear out the points for like uploading a photo. I mean, there's some of the things like the session chats, etc., but uploading a photo should persist.
Yes, so if you have a profile photo, those points can stay.